Nancy and Ned are in Belize to visit their friend David. Nancy's love interest in this book is Manny. He tries to prank Nancy with eel, but the prank doesn't work because Nancy's eaten fried rattlesnake and alligator stew before. She has? When did that happen?
Argo Funk Book Review. Argo Funk Book Review.
Recently, there have been pirates in the Caribbean. Ha ha. These strange pirates only target small yachts. They force every man on board to have his right ear pierced. They purposely don't kill anyone. All victims are set adrift in a lifeboat with enough supplies to ensure their survival. By chance, Nancy comes across the pirates' latest victim, Robert Cutler. Nancy searches his lifeboat, but she doesn't find anything of interest besides a homing beacon that the pirates use to track his location. Nancy and Ned go to a fun pool party. They meet wealthy heiress Becca Jackson, who's looking for places to invest. Becca is a major flirt. Nancy is dismayed when Ned stays close to Becca the whole time. The group has lunch on Becca's cruiser. Her captain is a Chinese man named Li Po. She has an anthropologist friend named Ramon da Silvio. Nancy is suspicious when Ramon messes up basic anthropology facts, and he has a pirate earring. Robert Cutler disappears during the night. Nancy thinks he was kidnapped from his bedroom while he was asleep. She proves this theory when she finds his pillow in an unusual location. I hope you enjoyed that 2-page investigation, because it is all the mystery investigation that Nancy does in this book. Instead of looking into the kidnapping, Nancy goes to her 4th party. She dances with Manny, who openly admires her slender curves. Their dancing is so good, everyone stops to watch them. Nancy has a hard time putting her romantic feelings for Manny aside when she learns he's a suspect. He sneaks out at night, and he wrote a threatening note recently. Nancy meets with Ramon at a Mayan ruin. Under questioning, he admits he lied about his anthropology degree in order to get a job. He pushes Nancy off a platform, but he claims it was just an accident. I would be more suspicious of a guy who just tried to kill me, but Nancy decides Ramon is innocent. Nancy and Ned have a small fight. He thinks she's getting too close to Manny, while she thinks he's getting too close to Becca. David interrupts to say Manny occasionally breaks the law, but only for noble reasons, like stopping poachers and the sheriff of Nottingham. The group goes on a big cave hike the next day. Becca's too scared to jump over a gap until Ned promises to catch her. She hugs and kisses him. He hugs her back. Nancy is furious. She yells at Ned for kissing a girl right in front of her. He responds by accusing her of being just as romantic with Manny. The group plays in a river, which means bikini time, but it's not like the cover art shows. Becca accidentally knocks Nancy's head against a rock water slide. The unconscious Nancy goes plunging into a swift river. Ned swims Nancy to shore and saves her life with CPR, although he does not do any chest compressions. Becca leaves when she gets an emergency message. She's evasive about what the emergency is. Nancy and Ned fight over whether or not Becca is lying. This fight ends happily, as Ned realizes he's been a jerk the whole time, and he apologizes for ignoring Nancy. Nancy doesn't apologize to him, though. The group goes snorkeling. Nancy sees a scuba diver illegally hunting parrotfish, and that's how she solves the mystery. She just happens to be there when the culprit is breaking the law. He shoots at Nancy with a spear gun several times. She escapes to safety, where Manny recognizes the culprit as Li Po. Li is the leader of the pirates, probably because he has a pet parrot. You can't be a pirate leader without a parrot, right? Nancy and Ned secretly follow Li Po to the pirate hideout. They're spotted by the parrot and get captured. Li Po explains that he and his gang sell the stolen yachts to other countries for large amounts of money. That's the part of this game which makes sense. Becca is the other pirate leader, which brings us to the weird part of the scheme. Nancy says when you donate blood, they get a few drops of blood from your ear in order to check the blood type. That is wrong in 2 ways. They prick your finger, not your ear, and they check your hemoglobin levels, not your blood type. Anyway, the pirates pierce men's ears so they can get blood samples. Becca is using the blood samples to find her biological father. She doesn't know anything about her father, besides for the fact that he's a 42-year-old man who lives in Miami and is currently on a 3-month vacation in the Caribbean. That sounds like more than enough information to identify the guy. Becca is rich. She could have hired a private investigator to track down her father. In fact, that could have been a mystery for Nancy Drew to solve. Instead, Becca concocted the pirate scheme as a way to secretly get blood samples from all the men who could be her father. Robert is blood type AB negative, just like Becca. It is a rare blood type, so she assumes he must be her father. That's not correct either. If you have AB negative, that means your parent can be any blood type besides O. It's not the case that AB negative blood type father means AB negative blood type daughter. So pretty much all the blood stuff in this book is incorrect. As for Robert's kidnapping, that was a mistake. The pirates mixed up his blood samples, so they had to kidnap Robert to get a second blood sample. This is overly complicated. Remember, Becca and Robert attended the same party. I think she could have gotten a blood sample from him at that time. She got away with almost killing Nancy and making it look like an accident. You can't tell me she has no way of getting a blood sample from Robert besides kidnapping him. Robert refuses to admit that Becca is his daughter. He refuses even when she threatens to blow up the room with dynamite, which is a Looney Tunes villain scheme if I've ever heard one. Nancy and Ned manage to tackle and disable Becca, even though they're partially tied up. So Robert repeated, "I'd rather die than call you my daughter," several times. At this point, he decides to accept Becca with loving arms, he pays to replace all the yachts that her pirates stole, and he hires a great lawyer to defend her. Nancy is pretty sure Becca will get some jail time for her crimes, though. The end. Post-book follow-up. This was not a good mystery book because Nancy doesn't try to solve the mystery. She ignores it most of the time. Instead, she goes to a bunch of parties and tourist spots. There is so much focus on the tourism stuff that the book feels like a travel company wrote it as an advertisement for Belize. That's why Nancy does things like question a suspect in front of amazing scenery, almost die in front of amazing scenery, and accidentally stumble upon the culprit while admiring the amazing scenery. The culprit's plan is dumb. There are much easier ways to get blood samples than to hire pirates to kidnap men and force them to have ear piercings. The romance drama was terrible. I don't want to see Nancy and Ned fight with each other because they are both trying to cheat at the same time. I was tempted to give this book 0 points, but the CPR scene was good. Some of the scenery stuff's good too. I can't deny that regular parties, delicious food, amazing scenery, and relaxation sounds like a great vacation, especially when it's all free. I give Nancy Drew Files number 108, Captive Heart, a 1 out of 10.